back in the old days, it was mostly fishing camps. And it was more of a laid-back place where people would come here and
fish, crab, do anything you want, shrimp, walk the beach. Yeah, Grand Isle, yeah, it's the end of the world. You're right in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. The bottom of Louisiana, out past the bayous.
It is located 45 to 47 miles directly south of New Orleans.
Right now, like a little island lost in time, you know. We don't have the big condos and you know, it was clean environment, not much crime.
So I had found my little piece of paradise.
The explosion was offshore of Grand Isle.
I heard about it the night it happened, of course. Everybody was talking about it, everyone was calling each other.
I had a dog, a basset hound, and he was going crazy for a couple of days. I mean, he smelled it a couple of days before we could smell it. And we knew it was coming.
You can smell the benzene and other aromatic hydrocarbons in the air.
And then it was kind of like a countdown. Waiting for that first oil to show up because it's inevitable, the current's bringing it this way.
We got it first. I would say we got the worst of it.
I thought I was seeing black telephone poles or pilings coming in offshore. I said, I don't think that's oil, but what that was the crest of the waves that were fully lit with oil.
It's ground zero because we were surrounded with this shit. There was oil everywhere here, so.
You think you can picture what it's like coming in, but when then it finally happens, it's a terrible sight.
But let's hope it just goes away.
This book that I hold today is not any ordinary book. It is a book that has words of life. What we do in this life is temporary. Even our lives will all have an end. Sadly, some come to an abrupt end. Others of you may get to live a long, prosperous life. But all of us will step into eternity. I think we all want the same answer, for things to be put right. And so I want to go to the greatest power source, and that's not the government. It's not BP, it's not our ingenuity. The greatest power source is the Lord our God. Remember, there are still people that are hurting and struggling today as a result of this disaster that happened 2 years ago. So I want you to bow your head and close your eyes as we pray.
You can see the crosses that are behind me representing each of the 11 rig workers who lost their lives Now, a prayer was said out here for each of those rig workers, and a prayer was also said for the people who live along the Gulf and who are continuing to deal with this disaster day after day. Now, to speak a little bit more about that, I'm joined by marine toxicologist Dr. Ricky Ott.
2 years ago, the Gulf ecosystem was vibrant, thriving. It was supporting a very robust fishing industry. And 2 years later, I can't believe the collapse is happening this fast. The Gulf ecosystem is failing. It's failing down in the mud where the young...
Daddy took me fishing, grandpa, when I was young. The reds were running, had a big one on my line. Send the dragon like Daddy said, put him into his line.
I love this place. It's always been my home. I know it's a small speck in the ocean, but it means a lot to me. Yeah, this is my little tropical island. Sometimes that water's clear as a crystal. That's when you really catch a lot of trout. Shrimp season opens tomorrow. On the inside. It's always open out here.
Captain, deckhand. No, boss, captain. No, she work as a team. She serves the shrimp and all, and I'll go look. I'll try to find them. My parents, my father, when he trolled, my grandfather trolled with his wife. As just a generation, it's been like that for all our life. It's just. That's how we do it. I'm a fourth generation, and I got a son that's a fifth generation, so that tells you way back. And her, same size, same with her.
I'm fourth generation also. That's all my grandfather and my dad did. It's in our blood. It's our heritage. We have to keep it up.
These are crab fishermen, oyster fishermen. They make their living, so to speak, they make their living off the land. And it's, things are not doing too good for them right now. It's not there for them to make a living, so you don't know what's going to happen. Hope it changes quickly. But I don't know. We shall see.
Everybody tell me, when you gonna quit trolling? I said, when I die. That's true. What is in your blood is in your blood. But that's what we love to do. Love to fish.
When the oil spill first happened out here, a lot of those fishermen, local fishermen, BP hired their boats.
It happened in April 20th. And we start working, then April gone into May. We start trawling, shrimping. But it messed us up.
There's not much fishing going on at this time of year, and it should be fishing at this time of year. They just don't have the fish out there. Something is wrong.
You could hear the planes. I mean, you saw them in the daytime at first until people started taking pictures of the C-130s that they rigged up to be able to spray that COREXIT on all the oil slick out there.
Oil floating, it was a thick red, reddish brown, a paste, not quite peanut butter, but thick.
At one point, they were spraying 2.5 gallons of that chemical to every gallon of oil that was coming out of it. I mean, they just overdid it. They shot it from underneath the water, something that was never tried nowhere else.
Once people started complaining, and wanting to know what the hell chemicals are in this spray that you're spraying our fishermen with, and, you're spraying over all the waters and stuff here. We wanted to know what was in it, and then people started taking pictures. So then they started flying at night.
From what I hear from some doctors, it's the chemicals that were sprayed in the Gulf of Mexico are causing some people to get sick.
I mean, everybody had a story at first of being sprayed with this shit, and nobody knew what it was. And when, that's when they started telling us all we had the flu, and we called it the BP flu. 95 friggin' degrees outside, you got a flu. The whole fucking island has the flu all of a sudden, in the middle of summer.
All these illness symptoms were diagnosed as heat stroke and food poisoning. And all this whole game that it's okay, the economy's open, come on down, the water's fine. Really? This stuff is really toxic. It's like doing napalm across the ocean. It's got to stop.
Well, they used it to hide the oil.
Out of sight, out of mind. The spraying did not get rid of the oil. All it did was mix the oil in the water.
They use it to sink the oil so it is not visible from above. You don't know it's there if you can't see it, prove it, Been a little over 2 years since the spill, and I haven't been in the water. And it's business as usual, as you can see. Everyone thinks it's all fine, and they're out there, but they're all told it's fine, so what are you gonna believe, Nowadays. Hopefully they won't get sick. It's obvious we're not making that much of a difference. I'm telling everybody. As you can see, government, everybody says every damn thing's fine, so they're here. But if you know what's in the water, you don't want to go in there. This just pisses me slap off. Some of the richest fishing grounds in the United States of America suck out loud now. Looks nice though, doesn't it?
All they wanted to do was spray those chemicals on it and sink it and put it out of sight and out of mind and get it off the television. And now it's sitting on the bottom, sitting on top of the food that starts life in the sea. Everything starts from the bottom.
We don't know, but BP knows how thick, how far, how deep it is. There was just a big cover-up. So, it's out there.
We have some of the best seafood that comes from right here on Grand Isle. It's the best tasting seafood in the United States. I honestly believe that.
Well, we was the biggest in the United States for many years, you know, as far as wild-caught fresh shrimp. Third largest in the world of wild-caught fresh shrimp before BP. They just come off of one boat, brought me all that. Every one of them shrimp got something wrong with it. But stuff, you see in the heads, the heads are swelling up on them. Look, you see the thing starting right there?
What's that called? Like a tumor?
Yeah, they're starting to get tumors. Look at this one. See on the side of his head? Like a big bump. Look at this one. And it's all the white shrimp. Look at this one. He got tumors all over the side of his head. I mean, it's a mess. Like a horror film, you know?
I mean, you can come out here some days and there would be 1 foot to 2 foot of foam just covering. You know, it's nothing but chemicals. And it was everywhere.
What are we doing? Yeah. Sifting out the sand for the oil. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes, you know, it's hit and miss.
Well, you spray it in the air blows on us, and here comes the friggin' COREXIT. BP and Coast Guard was there. It's okay. You can breathe the air on that side of the levee. Just don't go across the levee and breathe the air over there. What the fuck? It's the same air on this side of the levee as it is over there. That's going to be over in New Orleans or wherever the hell next. Well, you could smell it, you could taste it, you could feel it because of the oil it would leave and the sweet smell of it and stuff, and you knew it was coming. This is what I got. The benzene is in the 95%, styrene is in the 95%, and the MP xylene. You're not supposed to have any of it in your blood, number one, but you can get, you know, different levels and stuff. And they even color code it for you so you know you like caution and here's your danger zones in the red. You can't smoke enough cigarettes in a day to get this much in your bloodstream, you know. And it can cause a reduced infection fighting, such as increased risk of leukemia, breast cancer, multimelanoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And they all seem to screw with your brain, that's for damn sure. Short-term verbal memory impairment. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know I got that one, you know what I mean?
Stop by for me!
Zaina, the oldest, a couple of weeks ago, she was diagnosed with bronchitis. I believe it's a chronic bronchitis. I don't know, we're just hoping for the best on that. But you could hear it in her voice, it's all raspy, especially after she plays a lot. And Shorty, she's on a little bit of breathing treatment too, but it's not as bad as Zaina's gotten to.
This is for Zaina.
How often do you do that, Zaina?
Zaina's been taking an inhaler a little after her first year birthday, and she's only 2. She'll be 3 in January. You can tell she really doesn't like it. Well, I have to put it on her face, and she has to suck it through the tube, and she gets 2 puffs every 4 hours, and then it varies from there.
They had one with little eyes and all kinds of stuff on it, trying to make it happy for her, but...
Let's pick it up. 2-year-old on an inhaler. Nobody's worried about what happens down here, whether or not it's due to oil or what it is. They're not letting anybody know anything. They just continue to say it's safe down here. They don't check the air quality. They don't test the fish, and if they do, they're not going to let us know who actually live down here. They still have people continuously fishing, shrimping, coming down here for whatever reason to get away, and they're consuming the seafood that's out in the water. If my kids don't eat the seafood, don't consume anything that comes out the Gulf. My kids haven't been to the beach in I don't know how long. And that's all we used to do, was go to the beach. That was all there was for children to do. without getting in trouble was go to the beach. And now they don't even have that.
Actually, part of this beach right here is actually closed because of that oil spill and all that. There still is on here. They just cleaned the beach this morning. Yesterday it was all nasty. Today it's nice, beautiful, cleaned all up. So, it's good, and there's a lot more people out here today than there was yesterday. Well, it's his first time ever being to any ocean. His first time being in the Gulf. My first time ever being in the Gulf. Enjoyable so far, I can say that.
Great, beautiful. I was just talking to your buddy and he was saying it's your first time in the ocean.
Ever. And the Gulf is beautiful. It's great. And I want to move down here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I want to move.
A lot more pleasant down here.
I love it down here. You guys are the best. Food's great. Everything's great.
For us in Alaska, the Exxon Valdez oil spill, we learned that nobody comes to your rescue. There's no knight in shining armor. So I'm going to compare my history, your history, all right? So what's going on in your beaches now is that you can't see the oil. However, there's a retired Air Force colonel that's found that he's using ultraviolet light to go out and find where the oil is. It turns out the oil and the dispersant mixed together fluoresce at night. And you can shine a black light on them. And here's what a beach in Mississippi, white sand beach, beautiful during the day. That's what it looks like at night. What's orange is oil. The other thing that's happening now is that all along the trajectory where the oil was came ashore, shrimp are being born without eyes. Have you seen this? You don't shrimp.
I've seen the snapper.
You've seen the snapper with.
But worse.
But worse.
As the one we set off one just like that.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot.
Did you cut it open? Yeah, and so the oil is in the inside, and then it burns through the gut, and through the muscle tissue, and out, all the way out. And that's, yeah. So the shrimp are coming in with no eyes, and the dolphins, some of the dolphins are coming in with no eyes. It is really weird. It's got the scientists freaked out, not to say the fishermen. I mean, crabs are coming in with holes burned in their shells.
And the lungs in the crabs.
And the lungs in the crab, yeah. Pardon?
This is right now.
Now. This is what's happening right now. Now, hundreds of dolphins are dying.
We love the sand, we love the water, and it's just relaxing.
I'm hot. It's a beautiful day, though. I mean, it's hard to believe that there used to be oil globs everywhere, and you couldn't even go in the water. But, I mean, it's beautiful today.
Usually come here several times a year to Gales Camp because our class was a small class and we like getting together, and this is the perfect spot because we've always been sun worshipers and we've come to Grand Isle since we were little, and so that's why we came this weekend, and today's a perfect day. We like to get suntans even at our age, which isn't good, but we put a lot of sunscreen on. Right. And we just like it. It's so relaxing.
But we haven't been in the water either.
Well, that'll cool you off.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's really clean today.
shrimp spaghetti and seafood gumbo is like the one of the best food to eat, you know. I had to go to work after. I didn't want to go, but I had to because, you know, no income coming in, so I went and worked the oil spill, like the last 2.5 months of the oil spill. Well, a lot of my customers won't eat it. They think it's not safe. Everybody else says, you know, the federal government says it's safe, the state says it's safe, so. But some people won't eat it. They're going to wait a while, they said. They're going to wait 3-4 years before they eat them again. Oh, I worry about my livelihood, you know. And since the oil spill, it has been terrible. There's, you know, the oysters died. There's the crabs are not there no more. The shrimp is not like it used to be, and so I don't know. But like I say, I believe in the Lord, and the Lord will always provide for us. So.
We are blessed to have you here in our church. As you guys stand here, and we'll give testimony to this congregation in just a moment. That love is an amazing love.
Because we have a lot of people from out of state and out of the country that are coming in for the wedding that have never eaten such beautiful, big, large Louisiana shrimp.
What's that, Julie?
Shrimp dip. My mother-in-law made it.
Yeah, but you gotta try it.
I got a motorhome, I got a Mercedes, I got a Hummer, and it's all paid for before BP. So we didn't need BP to make a living over here. I mean, BP took our living. They didn't give us money like what everybody thinks over there, that we spillionaires and all this other thing. BP cost us money. They didn't give us no money. That's what I wanted people to realize. We lived real good before BP over here. But I never seen BP in my life, I'd be a happy man right now.
How many miles to the gallon do you get with your Hummer, Dean?
Oh, about 11, 10 and a half, 11. The Mercedes, not much better, about 15, 16. It's souped up. It just goes fast, real fast. And the motorhome gets about 10. But my little scooter gets about 90. So I drive the Hummer sometime, and that way I stay even. I drive one that burns a lot of gas and one that don't burn none at all. I stay in the middle like that. But if the business don't come back, I mean, it's kind of hard to buy toys when you ain't making money. But that's what we used to work for. We used to work hard, we play hard. But lately, there's nothing you can do.
I had a flounder with two sides, like the dark side. Both sides are like that. But I've seen that before. Both sides are dark, yeah.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Really appreciate you coming out. The program was developed by L. Ron Hubbard, the guy who wrote Dianetics and founded the religion called Scientology. Our program is non-religious. We'll treat Catholics, born-again Christians, evangelicals in New York. I treated rabbis and Muslims, and our program is non-religious. But Mr. Hubbard did spend 27 years figuring out how to get these chemicals out safely, because there's very classic chemical exposure symptoms. And I'll give you the top 10 or 12 physical symptoms that we see when people have too many chemicals. And most people will have 4 or more of these symptoms, okay? So you're gonna see rashes, bronchial symptoms, sinus congestion, dry bloody noses, a cough, tightness in the chest, shortness of breath, severe muscle aches and pains, severe joint aches and pains. On the neurological mental health side of things, what you'll see is short-term memory loss, absolute short-term memory loss, short-temperedness, irritability, anger outbursts, everything just upsets them really fast, right? This is a common complaint of most wives, by the way, which may or may not be from the oil spill, all right? So those are the kind of symptoms. Now, just by a show of hands, out of curiosity, how many of you had 4 or more of the physical symptoms that you didn't have before the oil spill? Wow, okay, thank you. How many of you have 4 or more neurological or mental health symptoms that you didn't have prior to the oil spill? It's almost the same number. Okay, thank you for the show of hands. This is a public health crisis that it's not just one little fundraiser, Jim Woodworth, is going to raise enough money to effectively help the numbers of people that deserve and need to be helped. Yes, sir. And I got you after that.
Did a lot of the people come to you and tell you that their lawyers are recommended that they don't take the treatment? I'm getting a lot of my fishermen are telling me that their lawyers are telling them not to take the treatment with you. Are y'all hearing that on y'all end too?
I've heard lots of things, I've heard lots of things where, hey, if you get better, it's going to hurt your claim. I've actually heard that. So you went down on the boat and they helicoptered you into
Well, not me,
to the hospital?
another guy. I came home with my boat because they told me I had the same symptoms as everybody else. Headache, hot, but you wasn't sweating, and tired, and blood pressure was up. So I came home with my boat. It took me 5 hours, and then I went to West Jefferson, and then they put me on an IV for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that was the worstest I felt my whole life.
Yeah, I understand. Did you get sprayed with COREXIT that day?
Oh, we were out there for 20-something days. We slept out there. We didn't come in. We came from offshore to inshore, and we slept out in the Roosevelt. I mean, us, we slept out there, we ate, you know, I mean, everything we did was out, because we wasn't close to land. I mean, we were out in the wilderness when you're on the other side of the river. I mean, you know, it takes you 6 hours just to get to a port, you know, 5, 6 hours. And you stuck out there all day, all night. So you were breathing all that air in that they had, you know, that they had. And you run your air conditioner, so the air conditioner's stuck in the, you know, so you're breathing all that in. That's what we were told to do. Ride through the oil, chop it up and sink it. I did that for 3 weeks, and then that's when I got sick the 3rd week. And then, like I said, I brought myself home because they didn't want to do nothing for me. I left. It took me 6 hours from Venice to get here, and then the next day I went to the hospital. Some doctors don't want to say that it's, you know, I mean, they don't want to say that because of your sinuses and your cough and your headaches. It's because you got sick from the oil. You know, some of them don't want to say it. And so you just got to live with it and hope you don't get, you know, something don't happen to you before it's time for you to go, you know. You know, before it's time to check out. You know, the old saying. But like I said, they got a couple, one guy that come down with cancer, and then another guy come down with cancer. Oh, is it from the oil spill, or is it, you know? This is 2 people that's never been sick before, and then they wound up with cancer, 2 of them.
And was that just on your crew?
Yeah.
They shrimp in the daytime in the May season, actually, and there's nothing in the daytime. You have to work at night, and it's hard work working all night long. So much was damaged with the oil spill and the dispersants and just all the toxic stuff that was in the water. So I don't think we could pay our bills and support our family on just the seafood industry right now.
We're afraid. We're a stressed out people as a fishing community. The not knowing is really taking a toll on this community.
Everybody's out tonight. At least everybody with children.
Yeah, you can see the candy. She can't see it, she gets worried. Where's my candy?
too many people sick for it not to finally start getting noticed. And unfortunately, that's what it takes here in America is people got to die before you're gonna do a fucking thing about it, you know?
There's people that's died in 2 months after they found out they got cancer. They only live a couple of months. And they're just sending them home saying they never seen cancer spread that fast.
As a group, we're, personally, I think that we won't live another 10 years. I have it already. There's already 2 of my fellow captains since then has developed cancer.
I've been to more funerals this year than I've probably been in all my life. You wonder, are you next? You know? When's your turn gonna come?
I got front row seats to the fucking death of the Gulf of Mexico. And it ain't nothing pretty.
Anytime that a hurricane or a storm comes into the Gulf, we're vulnerable.
A hurricane comes, it can wipe you off the face of the map. People come back, you'll rebuild. And you might have to do it every now and then even, you know, but you deal with it.
The oil spill, it's a longer lasting type fear.
People walk around just lost. Nobody knew how to deal with this. Just trying to sell the property so I can get the hell out of here. What? 500 yards from the beach, so. But I haven't got much of a market for property down here right now. Plus, I don't know who I'd want to sell it to, you know? I don't want to sell it to a family, haven't built a house here. But I'm at the point where I just got to sell it. It's the only money I have left, you know? Business is shot to hell. I mean, it's picked up some, but not enough. And now with all the health issues, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's about all I can say, you know? I mean, can I swear?
We get to work in the morning, we wouldn't get home till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 5 and start again. I mean, it was just fun. I mean, you didn't have to worry if all the shrimp would die, and you didn't have to worry if you was gonna sell somebody shrimp and get them sick. No, they come in and they're worried about, you know, what's gonna happen in the future. I mean, everybody just don't know.
Well, you're praying that it's safe.
Like I say, if we get a storm, there's a lot of oil out there underneath that sand. There's no doubt about that.
It was just a wait and see thing.
Am I getting any answers?
I don't think you'll feel the real effect of this for years to come.
And this is not over, this is far from over.